welcome everyone. I need to turn this up. Welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Zach, once again, here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. God, it feels like it's been months, but I am here with episode 17 of the Squared Circle podcast. I got a little bit of news today, and I am doing my WrestleMania preview and predictions. Welcome back, everybody. I feel like it's been a really long time. And it's just, I don't know. It was definitely not planned to be like this, but it's taken a long time. But how has everybody been? How has everybody been? I told y'all it'd be probably this week when I posted that video last week. But I'm here. WrestleMania weekend, NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver was the past two nights. Night one was definitely incredible. Walter destroyed Ciampa's chest. Night two is in the future for me, but past for you, and I'm pretty sure night two was awesome. I tried to do a preview and predictions for that, but I wasn't able to get to it this week, so sorry. It was pretty good. Quick channel news. On April 16th, that is a week from tomorrow, I will be doing my WWE 2K Universe mode. I will be doing episode 1, which will be the draft. I'm working on it as we speak. And then starting Monday, I will be doing Raw, NXT on Wednesdays, and Smackdown on Fridays. They will be edited to look better than I did before. And then I'll do the pay-per-views and the takeovers, when they happen. I believe 4 weeks from Saturday will be the first pay-per-view, which is going to be fully loaded, and that's where I'll crown all my champions, and I'll work on NXT and crowning champions there. But I actually am already working on the draft and getting it ready and all that good stuff, and you'll see it, and it'll be cool. So that's coming up on April 16th. There will be no retro rewinds for a while. I will do best of the best countdowns sporadically. I don't have a set schedule yet because I'm still in the process of potentially being in a different position at work. So I got to see where that lands versus my schedule I already have now and my schedule for this. So I will get to doing that, so it'll be sporadic. But those will be those are the things as far as the 2K goes that I know for sure will be done. I'll do other countdowns. I'm going to do movie reviews with a big movie. I'm probably going to review Mortal Kombat. Probably Monday or Tuesday I will have my my review for the Snyder Cut version of Justice League, even though it's late. And then I'm going to try to get to see Kong vs. Godzilla and try to review that. I got to rewatch it. But then I'll have that review. Those will both probably be at some point next week, just to give you guys a little bit of content for that week. So content's going to be slow to roll out, but it is going to come. And I will do these podcasts at least once every other week. For sure, if there's a pay-per-view, it's going to happen the weekends of those pay-per-views. So let's go ahead and let's get into the news. Like I said, I have a few stories. Top story is Bayley. That's the top story today. Why is she not on the WrestleMania card? Also, Seth Rollins' thoughts on the Thunderdome and how it is different with the fans and stuff. And I got some RVD news. And who wants to face the United Kingdom champ? Walter. I'm going to talk about those four, and then I'll get into my preview and my predictions for Mania. But let's start with this first story. And the first story, we are talking Seth Rollins. Of course, Seth Rollins He's just come back within the last month, or the last couple of months. He's in the middle of a feud with Cesaro going into Mania. I gotta have to change the time on this. I'm telling you. So we got Rollins coming back. But we're going to talk Rollins. So let me go ahead and let me pull up this story. I'm trying to get all the kinks worked out, you guys. So let's talk about this Seth Rollins story. Seth Rollins and how the WWE storytelling has changed with the Thunderdome. Can we talk about Seth Rollins and his suit game and just how on point his suit game really is? It is immaculate. Oh, I'm looking at a story for Triple H wants to wrestle another match. Of course he does. WWE SmackDown superstar Seth Rollins has said that although he misses live audiences and interacting with fans, performing inside the Thunderdome has allowed WWE to tell stories a little bit cleaner. Since there's no chance of a promo segment or a match being hijacked by the crowds. What is Seth Rollins' issue with crowds? Why does he hate fans so much? I know you guys are hearing this. During an appearance on Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast, I can't stand Ryan Satin, Rollins admitted that he's able to get through a promo segment without having to side-eye the audience. The Thunderdome, and this is Seth's quote, the Thunderdome has definitely allowed us to tell stories a little bit cleaner in the sense that things are not as up and down as they would be, normally. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I'm not sure, but I do miss the fans, the adrenaline, and live interaction. That said, I still love being able to cut a promo and get all the through it. I think he meant all the way through it without having to side-eye the audience. Rollins added, it's nice to get a full fallout instead of being interrupted by CM Punk chants or something. Seth Rollins is so, salty towards fans. Just let it be. While reflecting on the pre-pandemic WWE shows, Rollins detailed the differences between TV crowds and fans in the attendance of live house shows, which Rollins has talked about prior. He says, I would go to non-televised events and the response was not what you would see on TV, which, Roman Reigns kind of had the same issues. The crowds are totally different. If I was main eventing live events against Baron Corbin, the crowd was 100% behind me, chanting, burn it down, let's go Rollins. And then on TV, more than half the crowd would be up in my throat. Rollins said that the varying crowd responses often forces WWE to alter storylines. It can be very confusing and sometimes pushes our creative process in directions to where we shouldn't be going, but that's how it is. That's how the business is now. You've got to adapt. And then, of course, Cesaro and Rollins face each other this weekend. Okay, a couple big points to make out here. I want to start off with his last point about how the WWE shouldn't be going in that direction, but that's just how it is. That's the business now. That's how the business has always been. You gauge what you're doing off the crowd. If the crowd is into someone, push that person, no matter what your storyline is. Obviously, you don't want to always deviate. You don't want to always change things, but if Steve Austin wasn't as hot as Steve Austin was, they would have never went the direction that they did. But the fact that Austin was so over after his face turn, WWE did what they thought was best for their business, a la Triple H, and that's what they did. That's what they went with. They went with the route of he is the new guy. Hogan was hot, so they ran with Hogan. They ran with Bret when Bret was hot. Cena became hot when he became a babyface. They ran with Cena. They ran with Batista. Those were the guys because they were over organically. Daniel Bryan, probably the best recent example of what the fans wanted versus what the company themselves wanted to do. Daniel got over. They were forced into putting him in the main event. And guess what? It made him some money. It was big. It was a big deal. Not as big as Austin and Rock and everyone like that, but for Seth Rollins to say, well, I don't think we should go this way. We should, you're basically saying we should just stick to the direction that we want. Well, I'm sorry that you became boring and your creative sucked and that people stopped liking you. Didn't help that Seth Rollins was so damn just, he was an asshole to an extent when it came to fans. And sure, I don't see everything that goes on with him. I don't see the day-to-days that Seth saw. I don't see the constant probably poking and prodding at him with questions. Like a fan at a convention asked him about the creative process, and he's like, are you there? Are you in the back? I don't remember seeing, like, being super snarky and just kind of pessimistic to him for no reason. Now, to the whole Thunderdome thing, yes, I won't lie. Promos are a little bit cleaner. Promos are more concise. They're still long as shit, but they are more concise, and I do appreciate that. But part of the best experience with wrestling is the crowds. Now, CM Punk chants, they do get boring. They get repetitive. But, again, that's the best part of crowds is listening to the fans and listening to their interactions and with the performers. That is what is really great about it. So, I don't know. I kind of disagree with Seth Rollins to an extent on this. But it is what it is. It's Seth Rollins. It's how he feels. And I'm just going to roll with it. So, I'm going to move on. We'll move on to the next story. In the next story, Walter, who wants to face Walter. Of course, Walter recently just finished off Tommaso Ciampa in what was a brilliant match. Probably one of the better matches on the card for Stand and Deliver. But a former Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, wants Walter. And if you've been on social media, Eric Redbeard also wants a piece of Walter. Everyone wants Walter. So, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry wants to see WWE NXT UK Champion Walter as World Champion within the next few years. He also hopes to put Walter in the Hall of Pain and prepare the Austrian for a run as a top star in WWE. In a recent interview with BT Sports, they're pretty good, Henry was asked to share his thoughts on the NXT UK as a platform for a different style of pro wrestling. He says, and I quote, "I think NXT UK is awesome," said Henry. "I feel like Walter is the cream of the crop. I think he should be a world champion within the next 2 to 3 years. It's all up to him if he stays healthy, and if he wants to get better, you will see Walter as world champion." Henry went on to pick Walter as a possible opponent for a comeback match. "Maybe I want to have one more match before completely saying I'm never going to wrestle again." And Walter is one of these guys who may need to be put in the Hall of Pain. To make it to be tempered by the fire that can make you a champion. Henry added, "That would be a good fantasy warfare match, but Walter would have to call me out because he's an active talent. It's not up to me. I still have my wrestling boots." And yeah, you know what? I'm usually not big on things like this, but I would watch a Walter Mark Henry match. It would probably be slow and plodding, but it would work. I think Walter could carry Mark Henry to a match. Walter he's been champion in NXT for over 700 days. Like, he has shattered Pete Dunne's record. And Pete Dunne was champ for a hell of a long time. And with the way they're booking UK in this one particular championship, it has built prestige with that title. Walter has made it prestigious. Dunne made it prestigious. 3 champions in 4 years. And these two have been champs for the majority of it. Walter versus him? Yes. And I completely agree with Mark Henry. Walter would be a world champion without a doubt. He would be a world champion pretty damn quick. So, I agree with that. I could totally agree with that. I'm just going to keep rolling. Not much to say. It'd be a fun little fantasy match. I'd enjoy it. I would enjoy it. Let's move on to the third story. And my third story, what were the comments that Mr. McMahon gave RVD at the Hall of Fame this past week? Of course, yes, the WWE Hall of Fame. It was this week. They did kind of did it separate. It was about 3 hours long. They did the 2021 class, and then they did the 2020 class, or the 2020 class, and then the 2021 class. I have it backwards. Not bad, shorter speeches, but one of the standouts were Kane, and then there was RVD, and Molly Holly. The three standouts of all of them to me. Unless you're wanting to count JBL and his sorry, not sorry for bullying people comments. But RVD was given some words by Mr. McMahon, but what were those words? So, as seen during the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony on Tuesday night, Rob Van Dam was inducted into the 2021 class. During a recent interview with Battle Creek Inquirer, RVD revealed what Vince McMahon said to him during his acceptance speech. He said, being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame probably means more than a world championship because there are probably a lot of world champions that will never be in the Hall of Fame. To have Vince McMahon stand up during the induction ceremony and tell me that I changed the style of the business was probably the highest compliment I could imagine. Got that weed pun in there. It should be noticed that McMahon's comments were shown during the ceremony. Adam Cole took on to Twitter Tuesday night, commenting on his 13th anniversary as a wrestler. He said, "Today is the start of my 13th year as a pro wrestler. April 6th will always be special. Couldn't think of a better way to bring in my 13th year. Unsanctioned 2 more days." I don't know. It jumped off to him. That's weird. But, you know, it's true. You go back to RVD and the things that he did in his career. He literally made his own style. He was cool, you know, with his flying around, you know, the spot monkey stuff, as Matt Hardy would call it. He made that stuff cool before it was cool to do it. RVD was a game changer. Yes, his WWE career was not as great as some thought it would be. He was only a world champion a couple times in WWE, ECW, whatever, but he literally set a trend, right? You think of people who wrestle today, their styles totally could be an RVD thing. And RVD is still kind of doing it. He totally deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Even without being a world champion, he would have been in the Hall of Fame just off of what he's done in the wrestling business. It is awesome. It's awesome. So I was happy to see RVD in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I reviewed the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. God, I got a lot of views off of my review of the Hall of Fame. Should have done it this year. Didn't have time to do it. But I don't know. RVD, Vince McMahon giving him that compliment, I would agree, was probably a really high compliment. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I actually 1,000% agree with RVD, or with Vince McMahon on his comments to RVD. Not many people do get to do that, and it is pretty awesome. So, congratulations to RVD and all of the other Hall of Famers this year. Final story before I get into the preview and the predictions. And this is the big one, and the one I really want to talk about the most, because why? Why is Bayley not on the WrestleMania card? I am one of those people, I have agreed in the past, no, you shouldn't put everyone on the WrestleMania card. But Bayley should be one of those people on this card. You couldn't find something for her to do? What is her reason? What is Bayley's reason for not being available? Let's read, in her words, what Bayley had to say. Bayley, of course, spoke with Alex McCarthy at Talk Sports ahead of WrestleMania 37 and why she doesn't have a match booked at the show. And she says, and I quote, "I cannot give you an honest answer, dude," Bayley admitted. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. It just didn't happen. Bayley also noted that even if there were plans for her to work the show, she wouldn't share the news. She goes on to say, "Even if there was something, I don't know if I would tell you guys to spoil it. But yeah, it's okay. I'll be here a long time. I might just jump the barricade and steal my own moment if they won't give me one. I'll just steal it." She mentioned that she has pitched ideas to creative for the show. She says, "I've pitched stuff for the past WrestleMania just because there has been so many instances in the past where the pitches I have gone through and it's become easier to talk to certain people. My brain actually started working, developing the more I experienced, the more experienced I got." God, this is so many typos. So yeah, there's always ideas like that. I don't know how it goes for the other people, but it's definitely open. I mean, cool, I suppose. So basically, Bayley gave a non-answer. That's essentially what we got, was a non-answer from Bayley. And I mean, she should be on the card. I don't see why she's not. I mean, maybe there's something personal going on that she's got, and that's why she's like, yeah, I just can't be there. I can do these interviews, I can do it from home, but maybe she just can't come. Like, she's been doing Ding Dong Hello, which has been great, and I've heard people pitch the idea, hey, maybe she's going to do a surprise Ding Dong Hello episode, and maybe it's going to be Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey or both. They're going to pop up, and they want to keep it a big secret because it's Becky Lynch returning at WrestleMania after having a baby. I don't think that's going to be the case, but that'd be cool. I don't want to set myself up for an expectation that I'm not going to have. So I think it's possible that she could be doing something. Or maybe she interferes in the Sasha-Bianca matches, in the Sasha-Bianca match on night one, and costs Bianca the match and realigns with Bayley or with Sasha. It could be another possibility. But the fact that if this is a creative thing that they just didn't have anything for her, that is sad. That is sad. That is bogus. And there should be no reason that she doesn't have something to do. No reason she should have something to do. She should. I just think that's bogus as shit. Really, it's just bogus. It sucks. It really does. It sucks, and it sucks that it wasn't. That she wasn't put on the show. I mean, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Like I said, not everyone needs to be on WrestleMania, but it is Bayley. Bayley should be a part of this show because it's Bayley, and I think she is sorely needed for this show. I don't know. Perhaps she's going to be a part of a tag team match. I don't know. I do have an opinion, actually, as to what I think she might be doing, and I don't think it's going to be the Ding Dong Hello segment. But I'll get into that actually here in a couple minutes because it's time to start talking WrestleMania preview and predictions. So, WrestleMania last year, too big for one night, and they went 2 nights, and it actually turned out to be really well. Even without a crowd in an empty building, WrestleMania actually ended up being really enjoyable. It was a little weird, but we are back at Raymond James Stadium this year. They are going to have a crowd of 25,000, possibly. And there actually are some really big matches. But the build, because I don't want to repeat myself over and over and over and over again throughout this, the build overall, with the exception of very few things, has just been terrible. It's just been terrible. So, not only are we getting 2 nights of WrestleMania, there is no there's a kickoff show for Mania, but there's no matches on the first kickoff show. Whatever the first match is, whoever's going to come out first, that's the first thing the fans are going to see. Probably going to be Hulk Hogan or Titus O'Neil. Let's be honest. It's not going to be the first match. It's going to be Hogan coming out, then introducing Titus O'Neil to say that, hey, brother, we're hosting Mania, dude. Welcome back. We're back in business, finally. You know, honestly, that's what's going to happen. But still, Mania, people are there. I'm for it. I'm all for it. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. Not only are there the 2 nights of Mania, Smackdown tonight is going to essentially be the WrestleMania kickoff for night 1. Honestly, I hope they don't do no pre-show matchups either night. I hope you take the 2 matches that are going on tonight, and I hope you take those as your kickoff matches, because it wouldn't have been on the main card, and that's just all they do. They just do them on SmackDown tonight. You couldn't find a spot for at least the tag team title match. I think that's bogus, but I'll digress. Because let's go ahead and let's talk about the first WrestleMania SmackDown match. This actually had their book in this. WrestleMania SmackDown. And it's going to be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Honestly, I actually have a list of the participants here. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys... Listen to this, okay? And this is a who's who of catering mid-card people. Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, who you never see, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. These guys were just the tag team champions with their Hurt Business, and now they're not even on the WrestleMania card. How does this happen? How does this happen? It's bogus. Let me keep going with this list, though. Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, because, you know, they're the Viking Raiders. Eric, who's not been on TV since Ivar got hurt, but now he's on this. Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, Jay Uso, Main Event Jay, not even going to be on the card. Kalisto, King Corbin, Lindsay Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. That is who you have for this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Let me go over this list one more time. Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jax Rico, Jay Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lindsay Dorado, Mace Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Slapjack, Shinsuke Nakamura, T-Bar, and Tucker. Who on this list, honestly, could you honestly say? Maybe Nakamura, building off of what he did in the Gauntlet match 2 months ago? No. Nakamura's probably not winning this. I'd pick Ricochet to win this. I don't think King Corbin's going to win. I think you're going to somehow see King Corbin involved in the main event for night 1. Maybe Cedric Alexander. He could use it. Maybe. But honestly, I think Jey Uso wins this match. It's on SmackDown. It will probably main event SmackDown. It'll probably be the main event match. Even though the participants of the Universal title will be probably in the main event segment. But I think Jey Uso wins the Battle Royal. I've heard no one say Jey Uso wins. so far. I'm picking Jey Uso to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. As ridiculous as that is. I mean, there's no one else. It's probably going to come down to him and Nakamura. Or him and freaking Ricochet. But, man, just looking at Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, the fact that they have fallen so far in just 2 weeks' time, so disheartening. These guys are essentially, they're done. They're essentially done at this point. This is ridiculous. It's just flipping ridiculous. Damn. I hate it. But, I don't know. I'm going to keep going. Also, as part of WrestleMania Smackdown, we have a Fatal 4-Way for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. And I figured this was going to be the match that they were going to have. But why could you not make room on WrestleMania like night 2 or something? Like night 2's short one match from the other show. But you're putting a gauntlet match for the women's number 1 contendership for the tag titles, but you couldn't put that. Could have been in this spot. Kind of aggravates me, but yes, you have the Street Profits, you have the Mysterios, you have the Alpha Academy, and you have the Dirty Dogs, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. But damn, like, you have on the main card night 1, you're gonna have a gauntlet match to determine who will face Nia and Shayna the next night on night 2. That made the card, but the Street Profits, the Mysterios, Roode and Ziggler, Otis and Chad Gable, these guys, these competitors who in all rights are all really terrific wrestlers, except for maybe Otis. Dominic is even really good. But you mean to tell me these guys couldn't make the WrestleMania card? They're going to say this is an actual WrestleMania match? Really? Really? Okay. Sure thing. That couldn't make the card. But I just, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with this at all. Like, at all. That aside, who wins? Honestly, like, all 4 teams have been intermingling for weeks. Who actually wins? I'd love to see the Mysterios win, but because it's not on actual WrestleMania, unless they book this match and then they do a rematch with like 2 of the teams and just throw it on WrestleMania last second. I guess that's a possibility. I'm gonna say Roode and Ziggler are gonna retain. They're gonna retain their titles. I'm going with that. They're gonna retain those titles. And then maybe we get a Mysterios versus them, or I don't know, maybe it ends up in a no contest and they do a rematch. I don't know. But I'll go with Roode and Ziggler to retain because it's not on the main show. But I'd love to see the Mysterios win. Really? Y'all couldn't put this on the main show. So freaking stupid. Let's go to the main show. Let's go ahead and let's start off with, it's Bunny Up time, people. It's Bad Bunny and Damian Priest taking on The Miz and John Morrison. Hey, hop, hop, night 1. Yeah, I'm going to break this down by night. Also, by the way, in the comments below, leave your picks. Who, you don't have to go through all the matches, but who do you pick to win the matches? This, oh my God. This is probably, if I did a, like Steven Larson do, with, they do the points, I think this would be the most easy one to win. Obviously, Damian Priest and Bad Bunny are winning. Priest is probably going to hit a move on Miz, and tag in Bunny, and Bunny's going to get the pinfall. Easy. I don't even need to go very much further. Like this is simple. Miz and Morrison, hey, hop hop, are losing. They're losing. Period. The build for this has just been, I don't even know, like not even a month ago, just a little more than a month ago, Miz was WWE champion. Think about that. They took like a 3-week break from this feud while Miz dealt with the WWE title, and now they're back to this. This was just a one-on-one match this past week. But now it's a tag team match, which I will say, for the quality, is probably going to make this better. Now, I did hear that Bad Bunny is actually training, has been since the Rumble, and great. I hope he comes in, steals the show, at least impresses. I think he can. I think he can impress, but I don't know. This could be fun. I think this will be a big moment for Damian Priest. He's going to get his first win. And then this feud can die. This feud can just die. Bad Bunny can go off and win a Grammy again, and Miz and Morrison can just... Can we send Morrison to NXT with his wife? Can we send him down to be with Frankie Monet? Why can't she be Taya Valkyrie? Frankie Monet? What are we going to do? Make her like a I Love Lucy character with her little dog, Presley? Jesus Christ. I'm moving on. Screw this match. Speaking of another match that just, like I said, build's crap. The build has been crap. Braun Strowman. Excuse me. Braun versus Shane McMahon on night one. Oh my God. What in a steel cage match of all things. Wow. Like, yeah. What? Really? That's what we got here. Shane's probably going to win, right? They're setting this up for Braun to lose. I'm going to do it in a steel cage, so that way none of your cronies can get in. That's going to happen. They're going to get in this match. Doing the Braun voice kills my voice. All of this because Shane thinks he's stupid. That's your build. Braun. Braun. But this sucks. Shane McMahon's going to win. I don't even want to talk about it because it's just, this is one of those matches I don't care. Shane needed to be on the card. And it literally, it's been such a weird build. Shane, was he having a heart attack on stage? The stupid dunce hat of Little Braun in the report card. And then you got Elias and Jackson Riker, who will probably show up during this match to get in. It's been terrible. I ain't even talking about this no more. Just done. So, as I said, this should have been on SmackDown and let the tag title match been on the main show. And hey, it's not too late to switch it. SmackDown's not till tonight. But the gauntlet match. There's only 4 teams. The potential of a 5th team to be involved. Hey, maybe they pull up a team from NXT. Oh wait, no they won't, because now NXT has their own tag titles for the women. But as of right now, the Riot Squad, whatever Mandy and Rose and Dana Brooke are calling themselves, Lana and Naomi, and then Natty and Tamina, with the potential of adding another team, Billie Kay and maybe Carmella. Maybe. Now, what do I think's going to happen? I think they're going to tease this all throughout the pre-show and up to the point that they have the match. They're probably going to tease it on SmackDown even. This may even be determined by SmackDown. But, hear me out. Bayley's not on this card. And she's literally doing nothing. It's a surprise, right? So, potential spoiler. Potential. Why am I waving my hands? I don't know. But here's what could happen. And I could be wrong. And I don't give a fuck about any of these teams. Except for maybe the Riot Squad. I actually like the Riot Squad. I wish they'd get pushed better. But, so SmackDown. Billy is trying to get Carmella. Oh, you're going to be my partner, right? You're going to be my partner, right? Sorry, I'm not going to try to do it in an Australian accent. And Carmella's going to keep him hawing around and blah, 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 blah. I think Carmella's actually going to get her own tag team partner who's not Billy Kay. Yeah. Honestly, I think she's going to end up teaming up with Peyton Royce. I think Peyton Royce is going to end up being Carmella's partner. Just because. Now, this is such an out there idea that it's probably not. Because, Peyton's also on Raw. But, fuck, Baron Corbin's showing up on Raw. And he's a SmackDown superstar. So, whatevs, right? It's Twitch's brand. Carmella, being the dastardly heel. And they want Billy Kay to have sympathy. Is going to get her own partner. And it may not even be Peyton Royce. It could be, I don't know, who's on SmackDown that's available. Honestly, I don't know. But, anyways. So I think she ends up with her own tag team partner. Most likely it would be Peyton Royce. Just so then Peyton can be on the card, right? We want to get everyone on the card. Just throw these teams together. But then who? Who is Billy Kay's partner? She's going to be a part of this, right? Now, as much as I would love to say Carmella gets a totally different partner, and then we get an iconic reunion. Why did I do that? An Iconics reunion at WrestleMania, which would be great. I think the fact that they broke them up is terrible, but that's not the point. The point is, I think Billy Kay says, I'm in this match, and I have a partner. And you'll find out tomorrow night at WrestleMania. And I think Billy Kay gets Bayley to be her partner. Bayley's going to want to be on the card. Billy and Bayley, best friends. I would love it. I forgot where I heard. I think it was Adam Wilborn on What Culture. Talking about bloody Billy Kay and teaming up with Bayley. Billy and Bayley. Bayley and Billy. Why not? Why not? Why not? And if this happens, I'm giving you two answers to who I think wins. If this happens, I'm picking Bayley and Billy to win the gauntlet match. I'm picking them to win the gauntlet match. Probably beating Tamina and fucking Natalya at the end. They'll probably be the last two teams. That is my pick if that happens. It's a long shot. A very, very, very long shot. They're probably just going to throw Carmella and her together, and Carmella's going to screw her over, and they're going to move on. But if that doesn't happen, God help me, I don't know why, but Lana and Naomi are going to win. Probably beating out Tamina and Natalya. That's what will probably happen. And it'll be boring. And they'll go on to face Nia and Shayna the next night. Who wins that? Depending on who wins, I'll tell you a little bit later. But why can't we get Billy and Bayley? Why not? I would love that. Moving on to some more serious business as we continue through night one. Cesaro versus Seth freaking Rollins. Seth's suit game has been on point. And this is, surprisingly, Cesaro's first singles match at WrestleMania. He's never been in singles competition. That blows my mind. Wow. Just let that sink in. He's never had a singles match at WrestleMania. That is insane. But I'm still intrigued. I'm going two ways here. I don't think... Okay, those three thoughts I have. One, I don't think this ends at WrestleMania. I think they continue through to Money in the Bank, possibly being participants in the Money in the Bank match, which I have an idea where that will go if this goes the way I think it will. Also, Seth can afford the loss. You know, it won't hurt him. Cesaro needs this W. They're pushing him. Cesaro needs the W, especially if you're going to do what I'm thinking. But this is WWE. They do 50-50 booking. That's how they build you. They give you one big win, and then you lose like 4 matches before you get your other big win. That's just how they do. I'd hate to see the win-loss records of these people. They'd be right around the 500 mark. So I'm going to make this prediction, and I'm actually going to skip ahead to Money in the Bank as well, because this is where I honestly, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, I do think both these guys are going to be part of the Money in the Bank match for SmackDown. They'll be one of the 4 or 5 participants for SmackDown. I think if WWE is really serious about pushing Cesaro, Seth Rollins wins this match. Seth Rollins wins at WrestleMania, gets his win in front of a crowd, gets it, because he's coming back. It would yes, it would make sense for Cesaro to win, but with Seth and all his preaching and everything, it would also make sense for him to get the win. Hear me out. I know people are like, but Cesaro should win. It's WrestleMania, big moment. Yes, but think in the logic of WWE, what they like to do. So Cesaro would probably lose. They'd have a rematch on SmackDown somewhere between this point and Money in the Bank. After that, Cesaro gets his win back. Then you go into Money in the Bank. You have whoever else is in this, and you have these 2 guys in that match. A lot of people have already questioned who's going to be Mr. Money in the Bank this year. Cesaro. If they're serious about pushing him, you can give Seth the win. You can give Seth the win at WrestleMania. And then give Cesaro the win at Money in the Bank. And then you have a whole year to decide what you want to do with Cesaro. How far you really want to push him. Do you want to keep him on Raw or keep him on SmackDown or move him back to Raw? You can do all that. That's that's neither here nor there. But I do believe that's the route they could take. And I really do believe deep down my gut, that's what they're going to do. But we're also talking about a madman in his 70s, Vince McMahon. There's no telling what he's going to do. I could see this being a thing, and then a week from now, be like, nope, they ain't doing that. No. But as of right now, as of this recording, I am picking Seth Rollins to beat Cesaro, and then I am picking Cesaro to win Money in the Bank. And watch him not even be a part of the Money in the Bank match. And I'll look like an idiot. It's happened before. It's cool. So let's keep moving on. All right. Time to get to another match on night 1 that it's been okay. It's kind of entertaining, but I am interested in seeing what this guy's going to do, because it is the New Day defending their Raw Tag Team titles against AJ Styles. He will be Mr. WrestleMania one day and making his in-ring debut almost. Well, let me say, it's really shitty that they decided to put the titles back on New Day and not keep the Hurt Business and make this a triple threat. So that way, one of these 2 teams could have been, these teams could have still been protected, right? They could have still protected these teams overall, but it's too late, right? It doesn't even matter at this point. You can't build the hype. I mean, actually they can, because it's WWE. People never think of this logic when they're explaining themselves. Well, they have to be like this, right? But it is WWE. There's no fucking telling what they'll do. There's no way, if you're thinking logically, that WWE can build all this hype for Omos and him and AJ, and even if you do the go-home math and how it ended on Monday, no way these guys lose, right? I have to think AJ and Omos are winning those tag team titles. I don't think it'll be a long run, or maybe they split the two off and AJ turns on Omos and gets his ass kicked after. I don't fucking know. Because AJ was kind of throwing a fit on Monday, so it's possible. I'm gonna pick AJ Styles and Omos, and I could really end up regretting this. But I'm gonna pick them. Again, this has been built off of games and just AJ and Omos coming out. Hey, you guys are champs now. We want a match. Okay. As Simon would said, that's been a lot of the build. I want a match. Okay, you can have a match. And that's just how it's happened. There's been no real conflict. You know, I remember back in the day, you'd watch WrestleMania and a years-long build, months-long builds. Now it's 2 weeks before Mania. Yeah, we'll put these two in a feud. Why? They looked at each other crazy. That's just what happened. That's how it always went. But yeah, I'm going to pick AJ and Omos. Yeah, I think Omos could surprise us. I don't know. He could be terrible, but they're really hyping him up to be something really good. And I hope they're right. Again, though, I could be really wrong. And I don't know. I hope so. I'm nervous. I don't... If there's going to be people who can build this guy to a really great match and help him, it's going to be these three. AJ in his corner making him look good. Kofi and Xavier will make him look good. They're going to bump like fucking hell for him. It's going to be a bump fest. Once Omos is in, it's going to be AJ in. He's going to try to work this by himself for the most part, and he's going to bring in the secret weapon. And it's going to be Omos for the hot tag, and he's just going to bump. He's going to bump these guys around. They're just going to bump like crazy. So that's my prediction. That is actually my prediction. God, I'm still on night one. Jesus Christ, man. Let's move on. Let's talk about this. A match that could have been the main event, but it's still not. Sasha and Bianca. I, at one point, thought, like many others, this should have been the main event, at least of night one. But with the way they started to do the build after Bianca decided she was... I mean, we all knew Bianca was going to pick Sasha. The build's just gotten bad. And now, you know, there's a clear... Like, I don't understand WWE's infatuation with, well, we have to have a heel-face dynamic in this match. So Sasha turned heel, at least temporarily, for this match. And Sasha is better as a heel than she is a face. I'll give you that. But the build for this is just... It's just gotten bad. I'm not thrilled with the build, but the match, I guarantee you, is going to be spectacular if they give these two the time. It will probably co-main event the night. It'll probably be the second to last match, third to last match at worst. But I don't think it will main event the show. I hope they still give it the main event slot, because I know these two girls. You give both Royal Rumble winners a shot to be in the main event, a legitimate main event of each night, which is a good idea. This might be your last chance to do it. But if my hopes of Bayley doesn't come true, Bayley could interfere in this, and I think Bianca could end up losing, but I don't think she should. I'm going to pick Bianca Belair. I'm going to pick Bianca to win the title and dethrone Sasha. They'll probably have a rematch at Money in the Bank. And probably even at the pay-per-view after that. Then at SummerSlam, Bianca will face I don't know, Bayley or someone, right? I don't know. But I don't know. The build was so good. And why did they have to turn Sasha heel? Why does Sasha have to be a heel for this match to take place? It's just like with the next match I'm about to talk about. You didn't have to do what you did just because you have to have that clear who's cheered and who's booed, because we gotten so used to having the controlled environment in the Thunderdome. We have to find a way to control the crowd. The dreaded crowd. Oh my God. Seth, they may cheer someone we don't want. It's not fair. You're right, guys. It's not fair. They might chant CM Punk at us. That was a terrible Seth Rollins impression. But that's how it feels. Like they just sit around. God, they're gonna cheer someone we don't want to cheer for. What can we do? We'll make Sasha a bad guy. Guess what? Newsflash. They're gonna cheer for Sasha either way. You know why? Because it's the first time a crowd has been able to legitimately be at the show in over a year. Duh, dummies. As Eli Drake / LA Knight would say, duh, dummy, yeah. Of course they are. Of course, that's what's going to happen. Fucking idiots. I can see it. Seth Rollins, burn it down. They're cheering for the wrong person. Yeah, pal. It's not right. Jesus. But yeah, Bianca's going to win this match. And it'll be a brilliant match. Let's be honest. But what will probably be main event of night one is Drew versus Bobby, the Almighty versus the Scottish Warrior for the WWE Championship. It probably will be your night one main event. And oh man, much to like I was saying about Sasha versus Bianca. They don't need to do what they're doing with making Bobby this ultra bad dude who kicked out, Cedric and Shelton and tried to get the 24/7 locker room to help. And then he's got Baron Corbin help. But he's totally like wanting to face Drew, right? That's what he wants. But he's going about it in all these other ways and getting all these other people to help him, right? That's what he says he wants to do. Cool. I know once Bobby won, it's like, damn. And then he came out with the new look the next week with the lightning and stuff on his Titantron. And you're like, damn, that's awesome, right? But now it is so blatantly, obviously clear who they want to win this. They are going Drew all the way. They've telegraphed it. The story they could have had with these two, both guys leaving WWE, having to come back, and having to find a way to the WWE Championship and then succeeding. Yes, to make the heel face dynamic a little more clear, because people would probably cheer for Bobby because Bobby's over. He's been doing great work, right? He's been doing fantastic work. Why would people not cheer for him? But you could have had Drew. I was valiant. I beat the Beast Brock Lesnar last year. Did you ever get a piece of Brock? No, because Brock doesn't even want to acknowledge you. You could play that story in. Brock Lesnar doesn't even care about Bobby Lashley. He won't even acknowledge him. You could do, Bobby, you did it by beating The Miz? And it took you 3 tries to beat The Miz. You had to have 3 tries to beat The Miz. You could make Bobby look bad, and then you could have Bobby then turn around and destroy Drew McIntyre. Leave Drew off TV for a few weeks. Make it to where you feel like the championship match may be in doubt. And then, the second to last week, perhaps, maybe the go home Raw, Bobby's out there. I might not even have a match this week. I beat him up so bad, he's not even gonna make it. And all you do to build this is you just build up Bobby. Bobby saying, he said I couldn't do this because he was that. Well, if he beat Brock, but I beat him like I did. What does that make me? And then, voila, Drew shows back up on the go-home show. They have a big old pull-apart brawl to end it. And then you go into Mania. And yeah, Drew could win. Drew could win, overcoming the odds. The guy who beat him up. But this story could have definitely served better with a longer story. More build. More time for it to breathe and grow. But they didn't give us that. They didn't want to give us that. So that's cool, I suppose. Okay, I don't know what that was. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Drew. Drew wins. Drew becomes WWE champ for a third time because they want to give him his moment in front of a crowd at Mania. He's likely gonna get some boos. It's a WrestleMania crowd who haven't been at a show forever, and they're going to be like, this dude's been booked like crazy for a year. And not to say Drew hasn't been a good champ. I've enjoyed Drew as champion. Not like it was when Roman was champ before this time, like where it's like, I'm the ultra good guy. You just don't like me, blah, 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 blah. And you're like bored of him? No, I actually find Drew to be pretty legitimately entertaining. I just don't think he's going to get the crowd approval that people think he should have. So that's your night one. That concludes night one. It's time to go to night two. Night two of WrestleMania. This will probably be your kickoff show match, if they do a kickoff show. But Riddle, the original bro, and his flying birds, taking on the no longer Mohawk-wearing Sheamus for the United States Championship. Poor Sheamus, man. This guy was putting on some hella good matches against Drew right there in the thick of the main event picture. And what does he get for his troubles? He gets Matt Riddle. Not to say Riddle's not doing great work. Riddle's been entertaining. I guarantee you this is going to be a really good match. Like, as crappy as the build has been for this show, for the two nights, I bet you both nights have some really good matches. And it's just going to be nice to hear real fans. And I hope they don't pipe in audio. God. Yeah, pal. Pipe in the audio. Gotta have that reaction. They gotta cheer Drew. They gotta cheer Roman. Or boo Roman, because he wants Roman to be a bad guy now, right? Remember that. He wants him to be a bad guy. But yeah, this match will probably be good. This started because they bumped into each other and he beat up Riddle. They did have... No, wait, that was Corbin. I don't know. But they're having the U.S. title match. Just abruptly dropped Ali, and now we're to this, and I don't know. The build was crap. But they only did it in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks' time. I believe he called Sheamus stinky, and then called Ali sticky, and referred to them as like blunts that they had to be, weed that had to be ground up. How high is Sheamus going to get him? Sheamus is going to bro kick dude's head off, but Riddle's going to retain the U.S. title. Sheamus ain't winning. Sheamus will probably look really like he's going to devastate this dude. He's going to beat him up. But Matt Riddle is by the skin of his teeth. He's going to keep that U.S. title. Thanks, Sheamus, for coming, bro. See you next year, pal. Women's tag team titles. So going back to what I said earlier, Shayna and Nia are supposed to defend against the winners of the gauntlet. Like I said, I believe, I could totally be wrong, but I do. I believe it could be Bayley and Billie Kay to win this. If not, Lana and Naomi are going to win. Now, if Lana and Naomi win, I still think, Shayna and Nia are still going to lose because they want to do that breakup, break these two off because they need to really build that women's division on Raw, and they really need two credible challengers. As much as I hate to say it, Nia is going to be a more credible challenger than Peyton Royce. So, just saying. So, yeah, I think the match is going to be, no matter who's in this, the champions lose and the challengers are going to win. I'm still going to cross my fingers. I'm still going to cross my fingers, guys. I want to see Billy and Bayley challenge for those titles. I want to see Bayley and Billy walk out tag team champs. I'd even be happy with an Iconics reunion and they win. But ultimately, neither of those things will happen. And you're just going to see Lana and Naomi. Nana. Whatever you want to call them. That'll be your tag team titles. There's been that much build. Just these teams, I want a title shot. No, I want a title shot. Okay, you're all going to have a shot. Whatever. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. To a match that actually matters. Sorry to be rude, guys. It's just how I really feel. It's going to be, these guys are literally going to fight forever, but I'm happy it's at Mania. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, one-on-one at WrestleMania. This is a dream match for these guys. They didn't even care about titles. I guarantee you, these guys are best friends. Them back in Ring of Honor and in the Indies, I guarantee you, they talked about a moment like this. Oh yeah, Kevin Steen versus El Generico at Mania. Well, we're not getting that, but we are getting Sami Zayn, who's probably more entertaining than El Generico, and Kevin Owens, who is just one of the better pieces of the shows, right? I mean, let's be real. I love this. I love this. It's going to be one of those hell of a good matches. Like, I've seen their matches. Their match at Battleground a few years ago. Every match these guys have ever had has been amazing. Going back to their Ring of Honor days, up till this point, I honestly think this will be the last time. As crazy as that sounds, I think this is their actual last match against each other. They'll have this match. They're like, look, we don't really have much else going for you guys. Do you two just want to wrestle? Yeah. And that's what they're going to get. They're going to be on the card. They're going to get their WrestleMania payday. And then they move on. I think they move on and, hell, maybe they become partners again after this. Maybe Sami does beat Kevin. And he's like, man, maybe you're right about the conspiracy. I should have beat you. You might be right. And Sami can like, I told you! And then Logan Paul and Sami Zayn. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, Logan Paul will be ringside-ish, I think. But I don't know. I can't wait. I think this is going to be a hell of a good match. And I'm going to go against almost everyone else. Sami Zayn will win. Sami Zayn will win and beat Kevin Owens. I will probably be 1,000% wrong. But I think, mark my words, that's what's going to happen. But again, it's going to be a crazy good match. Crazy, crazy good. And I look forward to it. Intercontinental Championship, it is on the line. And man, oh man, has Apollo Crews just, the way he has reinvented himself. And even Big E. Big E's still fun, but Big E is much more serious than he used to be. This is like their fourth match or whatever, but it is a Nigerian drum match. Is that what he called it? A Nigerian drum match? I don't even remember. But it's for the Intercontinental Championship. And look, you have to believe at this point Apollo Crews is winning. You have to believe at this point that's what's going to happen. Right? At least one would assume. I guess. I don't know. Gotta readjust my microphone. It's been sitting for so long. This thing's just been sitting waiting for me to use it. I am a little stuffy. Allergies are starting to kick in. So no, don't have the Rona. I have to go with Apollo Crews in this. The build has actually been really good. Apollo Crews, with the accent change and everything else, has been amazing. Amazing. And I've loved it. I've loved what they've been doing. I really, really have. So, Apollo Crews. I think Big E and him, they feud a little bit after this. They maybe have one more match at the next. Actually, they probably can both compete in Money in the Bank. Why not? Or they can have a rematch at Money in the Bank. It's cool. Do what you want. But I think this does spur off for Big E to go on to the Universal Championship by SummerSlam. He loses here. He tries to rebound, but he builds himself back up. And we get him at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship against whoever will be Universal Champion. And I'll get to that. I will get to that. But that's my predictions. Let's talk about the Raw Women's title, which has been so unpredictable. So unpredictable. Yeah, let's talk about this. Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley shows up 3 weeks ago on Raw. Asuka, I want a title shot. You're not ready for Asuka. I'm ready for Asuka. Okay, that's what we got. That's the crux of this. The start of this. Look, the match will probably be really good. Again, it'll be another match where, yeah, the build's not been great, but despite that, the match is going to be probably brilliant. But I won't lie. I've heard the opinions of others who have been making predictions. And it's really hard to choose and pick this match. Because on one hand, Rhea really deserves to have that opportunity to redeem herself from last year's Mania. Even though she's now a heel, and go-home math would say that she's losing because she stood tall on Raw. On the other hand, Asuka deserves a win at this show, other than a Battle Royal victory 2 years ago. Asuka is champion, as she should have been twice over already at Mania. Man, this is tough. This is really tough. But I have to pick Asuka. I have to pick Asuka. I think they will probably go ahead and go with Rhea and say screw go home math. But I can't help but feel like it's Asuka's time. It is Asuka's time. It legitimately is. I don't think Rhea's ready for Asuka. That's my pick. I don't know. Like, the build's they had a stupid tag team match, and that was crap, just like it was with Sasha and Bianca. But I gotta say Asuka, because it doesn't. Rhea, I can't see them putting the belt on her that fast. I'll end up being completely wrong. Watch. I'll end up being completely wrong. Rhea will walk out champion. Asuka will just vanish off the face of the fucking planet again to go get her teeth finished being fixed. Because she hasn't really had much of a match other than this few interactions. She'll put in the effort in this match, and I think she'll go off. She'll probably go have surgery. That's probably what will happen. But I'm still picking Asuka on the off chance they decide Asuka deserves this victory. But again, I'm probably going to be wrong. So, I'll just move on. It's time for Crispy Fiend versus Randy Orton. Everything Orton has done will come back to haunt him. I thought this would be a Firefly Funhouse. Boy, are we wrong. Look at that face. Look at that face. Y'all don't love that face? How are they going to come back from this? How will they come back from this? So I guess that means his mask melted to his face? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? I don't know. He's got his cane eye going. Do you see that? It's his cane eye. Did you catch that? His cane eye? I don't know. That was stupid. How do you book this? How do you put a undead zombie thing that's burnt alive in a match with Randy Orton? A straight up match. As far as we know. Unless they say on SmackDown, it's a Firefly Funhouse now. But I think they want to put these guys in front of the actual crowd. the crowd probably wants to see these guys, so they're probably going to throw them in the crowd or in front of the crowd. Even if they don't want to do it with the crowd, it's got to be some stipulation, right? No disqualification, no holds barred, street fight, something. Firefly Funhouse street fight. I don't know. Randy's supposed to face his past and everything, but it's just a straight up match. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to no one. So what are they going to do? Fuck, I don't know. I do feel like how do you come back from this? Dude's burnt alive. How do we get back to Bray Wyatt being just Bray? Not burnt. Even if he's the Fiend still. How do you get back to that? Is it a swerve? Is it Bo Dallas under the mask? Better not be taking my fucking idea. I don't know. So picking a winner for this is extremely difficult. Really difficult to pick the winner in this match. But, I'm going to go with The Fiend. The Fiend will win this match. Probably with some help from Alexa, because she'll probably be ringside. The little child, the little yuppie. She'll probably be ringside. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I'm just kind of flipping a coin here. Fiend, Orton will probably go off. Maybe this is how you write Orton off. Maybe they light Orton on fire. They get to the back where they can do the pre-recorded shit. And you get Orton dumped in something. And Alexa and The Fiend just pour gasoline all over him. You can't see him. He's obscured, right? You just see him in there. And then they cut away and they just drop it. And woof, Randy Orton goes up in flames. Maybe that's what they do. I don't fucking know. I feel like this is going to be them trying to write Randy Orton off TV, but I don't know. But then you have the dilemma, how do we get The Fiend back? Is it a spell? Does Alexa have to do a spell to restore Bray Wyatt to his original form? Do we get the original Bray Wyatt? No. We get The Fiend, because The Fiend mask sells. So they're not getting rid of The Fiend. But I do feel like they're going to find a way to get back to The Fiend the way he was. I feel like that's definitely what they're going to do. And finally, oh my gosh, only an hour 20 minutes into this. Finally, the main event of the whole weekend, as it should be, the triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, our head of the table. I bow to you, Roman Reigns. Don't listen to me, everybody. I am just a madman. I am just a madman with madman ramblings. That's all I am. But, look, I hear a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people, comparing this to WrestleMania 30 with Daniel getting in, and it's a lot different. One, I think people like Edge a lot more than they did Batista at that time. Edge was probably still going to be cheered, even though he's a heel. He's a heel with motivation, though. So people will be like, oh, okay, I can accept that. Edge is going to get cheered. Roman's probably going to be cheered, because he's finally the thing that everyone wanted to be. He's a fucking badass. And he's to the point. No tater tot, nut sack bullshit like he's talked before. It's gonna be interesting. And Daniel's gonna be cheered because he is gonna be the over babyface. But out of the gate, this is not gonna end like WrestleMania 30. It's just not. Daniel Bryan is taking the L in this match. He is going to definitively be pinned by your Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. He's taking the L. He will be pinned. It'll be close. It'll be some shenanigans. Edge will hit a spear. Roman will capitalize. And he will probably pin Daniel Bryan. Hit his own spear afterwards. Something. Or Daniel will evade the spear. Get, Edge will, I don't know, something. Somehow Roman's going to win with some little bit of help. Maybe Jay interferes. I don't know. But you got to have main event Jay. It's the main event. Roman's going to retain the Universal Championship because I don't think you take it off of him yet. It's not been long enough. It's not been long enough. If it's my call, he's keeping it till WrestleMania next year. He's keeping it till Mania 38 when you're in a full crowd in Dallas where it all started. Where yes, he had WrestleMania 31, but remember, it was WrestleMania 32 where people really put their hate on him. And I think that's the route they go. No, they're not. They're going to have him lose it. But to tie back into what I said earlier, Roman retains, and then we get Big E versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And I think that's where you take the title off of Roman. I'd keep it on to Mania next year, where he could, lose it to The Rock or whatever. Or maybe you convince The Rock to show up in August and have a match. I don't know. But Big E should be the guy who takes that title off of Roman. That's how that should go. And I think that's how it is. The build was meh up to this point. Daniel Bryan getting involved, adding himself in through Fastlane at the Chamber and everything has definitely been helpful in this feud. And that shot of adrenaline that they needed, it was good. It was good that he was added. It makes the match more intriguing. But, yeah, Daniel's going to take the L. Overall, I think WrestleMania, honestly, overall, I think this show is going to be really, really good. I really feel that way. I think it's going to be a card that's going to actually impress everybody, even though the build's been crap. I think it'll be one of those years. That's my final thoughts. So, I do want to thank everyone. I do want to thank everyone for joining me here today. Sorry this is such a long video. I hope you all stick around towards the end. If not, I understand. But if you are still here, put your predictions down in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. But thank you, everyone. I really appreciate everyone and the support. I'm happy to be back. For all of you who are still subbed to the channel, for all of you who do watch this, thank you very, very much. I will see you guys tomorrow night live after night 1 of WrestleMania for that review. I will be doing it. And I will see you again for night 2 on Sunday. So, let's hope it's a great weekend. Let's hope this show goes by pretty damn quick. Thank you guys. Much love. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, join the nation. I'll talk to you later.